While we set up the drums for the final piece on this first half of the concert, let me remind you we will take a 15-minute intermission. And after intermission, we will have the large ensembles. The Seattle Chinese Orchestra, joined this afternoon by the Pacifica Chamber Orchestra. Now, some of you remember them from a couple of other collaborations that they have done. So let me just remind you a little bit about both orchestras. Of course, the Seattle Chinese Orchestra, as you probably well know, has been going for 40 years under the same leadership and direction. And many of us who've been watching it for most of those years notice that some of the little kids from the 1980s and 90s are now the adult professional performers and indeed the teachers of the modern orchestra. There is no greater sign of success in an organization than that your former students become your partners and your teachers. The Pacifica Chamber Orchestra was founded in 2010 and comprises 17 to 20 string players who perform 4 concerts a year in Snohomish County. They specialize in music of the 20th and 21st centuries, and much of it music by women composers. So check out their own concerts. They also accompany young musicians in concerts, supporting them as a backing orchestra, and they do many outreaches for kids in schools. Their artistic director is Mr. Fred Chu, who you will see as our conductor this afternoon. But they usually perform without a conductor in the tradition of old chamber orchestras from the 18th and 18th century, essentially. They've performed a number of times already with the Seattle Chinese Orchestra, and so we are delighted to have them back again today. After intermission, the first piece will in fact feature Warren Chang on erhu and赵步云on yangqin, accompanied by members of the Pacifica Chamber Orchestra. And then the other members of the Seattle Chinese Orchestra will join for a combined orchestra, and ultimately will be joined by the choral members of the Hua Yin Performing Arts Group. It looks like we are ready to go. So, let's hear the Drum Unison Ensemble performing Holiday Celebration.